Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to Devil's Den Hockey, and we are about a day late on this video. I apologize that I couldn't get this out last night. Unfortunately, some people had to watch the Jays instead of letting me record. You know who you are. Anyways, welcome back to Devil's Den, and we're going over last night's game, Devils versus Panthers. The Devils win 3-1 in regulation, and the Devils have now won 3 straight. Home opener last night, and we win, and not only just win, but arguably played the best game that we have played so far this year. Granted, it's only 4 games, so you know what? I could be totally talking out of my ass right now, but last night's game against the Panthers, everything clicked. Jake Allen had a great game. He was steady in net. He was sturdy. He did his job, kept the puck out of the net. We had a little bit of a bobbly issue at first, but you know what? After that first goal, he was sturdy. He was steady. He got the shit done. Everybody stepped up last night. You had goals from Meier, from Jack Hughes, from Meier and Hischier, Jack getting his first of the year. I was talking to some people during the first period about how I felt like Jack was losing a little bit of his where he's not getting pucks to the net, he's not doing this, his shot's not very good, but he answers back in that second period with a classic Jack Hughes goal. He goes up the ice, stays to the wing, gets pretty much to the friggin' goal line, roofs it off the goalie and into the net. By the way, speaking of Florida's goaltender, can we give him a round of applause? Because holy shit, he played so well last night. I know people don't like it when you compliment the other team or talk about how good they were, but I'm sorry, Florida's backup last night was incredible and was the only reason that this game wasn't 7 or 8-1. He played lights out hockey, played fantastic. But our guys, back to the Devils again. We played fantastically last night. A big shout out to special teams last night. I know it's more of a football term than a hockey term, but I'm going to use it regardless. Our penalty kill unit is killing it right now, pun intended. Killing it. We killed so many penalties last night. It's crazy talk. Florida didn't play Bobrovsky last night. Injured Barkov. Injured Kachuk. Marchand almost went down the tunnel. And again, they're not playing Bobrovsky. So this was a game the Devils needed to take advantage of. And you know what? They did. They came out, every single unit clicked. Also, can we talk about, because I feel like he doesn't get enough credit, but if he continues his play from early this season, the way he's playing now, to the rest of the season, he's going to be phenomenal. Dawson Mercer, go back on the Meier and Hischier goal. Mercer goes into the zone with speed. He gets stopped up about halfway between the blue line to the goalie, gets stopped up by physical Florida defensemen. He does lose the puck, but Hischier's right there, and Dawson Mercer dives like he's going for the Olympic gold at the Summer Olympics, and he dives to get the puck to Nico. The pure effort from Mercer is fantastic. I thought that Gritsuk, Brown, and who else on that line? Why can't I remember who's on the goddamn line? Doesn't matter. That third line is cooking with fire right now. I know that Gritsuk had a little bit of an issue in the first period where he just kind of shat the bed when the goal went in, but regardless, I thought Connor Brown had a couple of really nice, solid looks. Everyone just had a great game. And our defense, before I give all the credit to the forward and Allen and penalty kill, our defense against the defending back-to-back Stanley Cup champions who have been in the Cup final for 3 years in a row, our defense stepped up in a big way to block these guys out, and they did a fantastic job. I want to make sure that I give some credit to the defense, because sometimes I feel like the defense don't get enough credit where credit is due. Hughes gets a lot of credit, but our whole defense came to play last night, and it showed. 3-1 Great game overall. Timo Meier continues his goal campaign. He's got 3 goals in 4 games. Hischier continues to get points. Jack gets his first of the year. Like, overall, this game it rocked your socks off. That first period was a little touch and go, but you know what? Second and third period was great. It was great. And again, if it wasn't for the Florida goaltender, this game would have been 7 or 8 to 1 for the Devils. Yeah, I don't really have much else to say. Other than, oh no, hold on, I forgot. I wanted to talk about the no goal in the third period with Allen. Okay, so if you watched the game, you would have seen Allen. So basically, Florida pulls a goalie. It's 3-1. They pull the goalie. They're in our end, and they're cycling the puck. They're getting it around. There's a big bomb from the front of the net, and it goes in. It's immediately called a no goal. Immediately. We start to move on, and there's a coach's challenge. I guess it was a no goal at first on the ice, and then it was a goal, but then they challenged it. I don't know, but there was a coach's challenge from Florida because the refs were calling it a no goal due to goalie interference. Puck goes to the net. It gets popped in. The coach's challenge comes out, and the review process starts, and we watch as they back up the tape, and they show the no goal. They end up ruling that it was a no goal at the end of it. Anyways, Allen is at the top of the blue paint, but his feet are still firmly in his crease. I believe it was Lundell. He comes over to screen Allen, so he gets up nice and close to Allen with his back to Allen's face, and he comes by and makes contact with Jake Allen. Now, Lundell is in the white paint. He's not in the goalie's crease, but he makes contact because Allen is at the top of his crease, and then you have Lundell comes in and just gives him a little bit of a tap. And by tap, I mean like he bumps into him, right? Puck goes in basically at the same time, and they immediately called a goalie interference. Jake looks like he's about to lose his shit he wants the no goal. They reviewed it. They found it to be a no goal. I went back and forth with some people about, it's a soft goalie interference call. And don't get me wrong, I understand why Florida fans are even pissed off about the goal. Because there is an inconsistency in the NHL with what gets called goaltender interference, what doesn't. So here's my take. I think that if a goalie is in his crease, and I mean like his skates are in the blue paint, and an opposing player comes skating through, but they don't enter the crease, they stay on the white ice, and they make contact, and the puck goes in, I think whether or not they enter the goalie's crease, I think that's immediately a goaltender interference. You can't do that. You can't bump the goalie. Even if you're not in the goalie's crease, you can't give him a bump. You can't make contact with him as the puck is going in. In my opinion, you're going to get called for goaltender interference every single time. Now, there was some conversation that I had with some other people via social media and things like that basically made the argument, said, well, if he's on the white ice and he's not invading the goalie's space, even if he does bump him, it's not even the opposing player's fault, but the goalie's fault for being at the top of a crease. And I went, well, hang on a second. Are you telling me that if a guy is standing on the white ice and I cross-check a guy, but I'm still in the white paint and the goalie goes down, then technically it's not goaltender interference because, well, the goalie, when I made contact with him, I wasn't in his crease? Well, no, of course it's going to get called goalie interference. I don't know. Tell me what you think in the comments. I'm curious to know what people think. I thought it was a perfectly reasonable goaltender interference. In good faith, I'll say, sure, it's a little soft. It's probably a softer version of the call. But, when you make contact with a goalie, and it wasn't, a huge amount of contact, but, yeah, regardless, he makes contact, he bumps Allen, and the puck goes in. They call it a no goal. They review it, they stand by the no goal, and we move on. Devils win 3-1. What are you going to do? But I'm curious. Let me know what you guys think in the comments about the call. But yeah, on that note, I don't really have much else to say. Go, Devils, go. 3 wins in a row. We've got Edmonton tomorrow night. You go from the defending Cup champs to the losers of the Stanley Cup final 2 years in a row. This is just going to be interesting for the Devils, and it's a huge, huge opportunity to prove for the Devils to prove that they belong to hang with the big boys of the NHL. On that note, guys, I will talk to you tomorrow night when the Devils take on the Edmonton Oilers, and I will see you in the next one. Adios.